Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV. And no, you're not going that way, little boy. No, Go to the barn. Come on, let's go. Nope. Hey, welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel. Go to the barn. Go to the barn. Get out. No, you're not doing that. I know what you're gonna do. No, get up to the barn. Go to the barn. Come on, let's go. Get to the barn. Yeah, sorry for the confusion. Hey, welcome. And good morning, everybody. Watch my channel. Good to see you, hear from you, right? Comments, watching time. And what just a beautiful day. Wow. I mean, t-shirt time. Should have put my Crocs on. And just a beautiful time of year here in this Northern Virginia area. My toys and my passion of my vehicles and craziness. I've got the Jeep brand, the Ford brand, the Ram brand, and yeah, the Jeep and Ram and Ford brand. Gee, tell you what, am I confused? Is it worrisome? Are you worried about me? On my channel right now, are you worried about me? If you watched my video yesterday, I bet you'd say, yeah, I'm worried about you. And why would you be worried about me? Hey, Will, let's go. Here. Yeah, why would you be worried about me? Because of this thing right here. The Jeep Grand Wagoneer that actually I'm charging. I'm going to have that checked today if I decide to take this vehicle right here called the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. Yeah, so if you follow my channel, you'll know the whole borderline story of me parting with a Dodge Challenger Red Eye Gold Rush. I'm crazy. Crazy. I mean, I don't deny it. Anybody here watching my channel will be like, dude, you're giving up a red eye for a freaking SUV, Jeep Wagoneer. They'll still make those things for a number of years. You can go buy one at any time. I mean, sincerely, you're really doing that? Yeah, I hear you. Get in there, Pops. Go on. Yep, go, Will. Go. Go. Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful vehicle. I mean, I really have wanted a Jeep Grand Wagoneer since I was a kid, when it was just a whole different looking vehicle. And just, years ago, I heard about the Grand Wagoneer being brought back, but it took forever for them to get it here. And since it's come back, I've had my eye on it, and I just really do like this product. I mean, it really is a nice vehicle. I mean, when you kind of open the door here, you got the retractable steps. I just love the color interior. And it drives really nice. So it's just a beautiful, really elegant car. But at the same time, to sacrifice my Dodge Challenger Gold Rush for this, I agree. But the challenge is money factor. And I have so many vehicles that these banks, they're just not really wanting to lend money without huge monies down on these vehicles. And that's a challenge. And my Gold Rush has a lot of value to it and a lot of money that I can put towards that vehicle. And let's get up here in the office. And yeah, you heard the word worry. Yeah, so the theme of the day is worry. Yeah, that's my theme of the day, is worried. Should I make the decision to move forward and part with my Gold Rush? And I tell you what, my idea was perfect because, I mean, it's just really weird how this all played out. It's just incredible how that car, 2 days ago, I came to closure. I'm not going to do the deal because it turned into somebody else wanting the car too fast. I'm like, nope. No, thank you. I'm out. I'm not going to be in a little run to the dealership to buy a car. I'm not doing it. So the sales guy closed yesterday and he gives me a heads up that the vehicle sold my damn car. But the previous day, I was so close to jumping on my Challenger and driving down there and let it go. But I was like, nah, step back. So I did. So then the sales guy calls, and here I am. So now, what I came to closure yesterday was, I got to separate myself from that Challenger and quit worrying about the Challenger. It's all about the worry. We all worry. I mean, I think, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. So it's all about me. I get the comments of people, yeah, the guy's channel, he talks about I a lot. Okay, well, Am I working for somebody else that has a channel? And then I get comments of the deep thinkers have ideas, and the not so deep thinkers just talk about people. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know how rich Joe Rogan is from talking about people? Can I go through the list of the media journalists that make so much money that all they talk about every day of their life is about people and make you worry all day long? I mean, hello. Yeah, okay. A lot of people have lots of ideas, but what's the saying? Everybody has an opinion. Yeah, we know that comment. I don't go off on that. So my thoughts were yesterday. Let me just go take this Dodge Challenger out of the garage. Because every time I look at it, I'm like, nope, it ain't going nowhere. And so I end up backing down. So yesterday I said, I told the guy I'm going to take the car up to the dealership, drop it off, and we're not going to do a deal yet because I'm going to sleep on this, and I'll bring the Grand Wagoneer home and let me just kind of see if this makes any sense. And if anybody's a business person or anybody in life tries to make decisions, the smartest thing you can ever do is go home and sleep on it. Can't emphasize enough. Anybody in a crucial decision-making process, especially in spur of the moment, no, stop. Go home, sleep on it. When you wake up in the morning, you'll figure it out. So here's what's going on. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, why wouldn't I give up my GT500 Heritage Edition for this vehicle? But here's the thing. I have no idea what I even own that car. I don't even know how much value I have in that car. So I have no idea. But then I'm like, wait a second. Why? The Mustang, this is something to think about. This is the worrisome part of me being the car enthusiast. Okay, that Gold Rush, awesome car. I love it. I mean, I really don't want to get rid of it, but it's huge monies because it's financed through Bridgecrest Loan Company, through Carvana, which I'm paying ridiculous interest on that car. I mean, I'm not going to even disclose how ridiculous it is. It's beyond unbelievable. But that was the only way I could get that car, by agreeing to that terms. No other bank's going to buy the deal. Banks are not going to buy my deals. I have too many toys, too many motorcycles, too many cars. If I don't have a personal relationship with a car dealership and finance, they just can't. The banks are like, no. This guy, to the point, Ally Financial, should this deal had gone down, and Ally Financial, that Grand Wagoneer, and pretty much they kind of had a whole deal put together to do it, but we went a different direction at the last minute. And Ally Financial literally wants signed documents that they find out I am renting my cars out. Ally Financial thinks that I rent my cars out. What is it, Turo? What is it, Grand Turo? I have no idea. I don't even know. And that's if they watch my YouTube channel, they'd be like, this guy doesn't even know what the name of that business is. He doesn't, and his cars are sitting here every day in his videos. So the deal with the Dodge dealership here, if they would have done the deal through Ally Financial is so worried, here's the worry factor, that they wanted Dodge dealership to back the loan. Meaning, if they found out that VIN number on that vehicle ever populated to being a rented vehicle from me, it would be taken away from me, and the Dodge dealership would have to pay off Ally Financial. That's how deep it is. That's how worried. I don't know where Ally Financial is. So apparently a few years ago, somebody, I guess, had to tell somebody at Ally Financial that this guy's renting his cars out. I have no idea. Because Ally Financial turned me on a few years ago, and it's been a puzzle why they did this. I finally, the finance guy at the dealership has finally figured it out. They think that they're worried I'm renting cars out. Wow. Yeah. So, anyways, back to the Challenger Gold Rush. I mean, the downside is that thing's stupid money to afford that car. And part of me says, sell it to the dealership what I owe on it, pay them money to resell it to me and get me a better financing package. Yeah, it'll be challenging. So I don't know. But then here's the other thing. The GT500 Heritage Edition, which isn't here, it's in Tennessee, it has like 88 miles on it. Now, I know for a fact that Kuhn Sterling Ford is getting $1.30 minimum to $1.40 in those cars right now. And they're slowly evaporating from the availability. And right now is the time of year to sell that type of car. So what do I own that car? I have no idea. But at the end of the day, that car could actually be the car that I could use to get the Grand Wagoneer. But then I step back and think, is it really worth it? Is it really worth all the finagling and the change up of me getting this Grand Wagoneer? So it kind of gets deep. So yeah, so anybody watching my channel are probably worried about me. You're like, man, this guy's crazy. He's going to give up that. But the thing is, what people don't realize, I don't own these cars. And it is so much money for these cars to sit in this barn, in this property, and don't get driven. It's stupid money. I would be an incredibly rich person if I had the brains to dump all this stuff and take these monies and put them in other assets, like real estate, the right markets. So that's what people understand. If you're like, oh my God, so for me, if I had any brains, I would dump so much of my material possessions. And yeah, I would be a whole different scenario financially for my life. Yeah, is it worrisome on how I spend my money? It sure is. Yeah, you don't think that? And, years ago, even when I was just a kid getting going out of high school and getting my first car and then to get my first car payment, was I worried at nighttime that I couldn't make that car payment? I was. You have no idea how many years I used to go out and buy cars that were really above my salary to really be able to afford. And I would just lay in bed after I buy that car at night and wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and just borderline be sweating about how I just bought this car that I can't afford. It's too much money. So it started very young for me where I worry every time I buy a car. Bad. And then as years progressed and I got my own company going and I started having an opportunity to buy more cars, you have no idea how many days I would go out and buy a car. And I would come, that evening, it would take me like 2 or 3 days of just like no sleep from worry of me committing myself to this incredible financial obligation that I didn't know if I could carry it if things didn't stay the right direction. And I'm not embellishing this. And all these cars that I have here, it's all on a fine line of, these things could be taken back and repossessed if I don't know how to manage my money just right. And it's very, very, very extremely challenging. And so, but what's interesting is over the years, and it just really has been the recent years, I don't lay in bed at nighttime worrying like I used to, which has taken, 40 plus years of me buying cars. Anybody here that's watching my channel, anybody here goes out and buys something new, you're no different than me, and I'm no different from you, is that it's a financial obligation, and it's just not comforting when you have a huge debt on your shoulder and you have to keep things in line to make the payments to keep it. It's one thing if you go out and buy a car and you pay cash for it, or you bought a car and you put so much money down on it that as the dire straits come, then you can sell it or get rid of it. But if you're a guy like me that's constantly buying and selling cars, it's a worrisome process because without putting tons of money down, you're always upside down the cars. And that's a challenge. The majority of these cars here are upside down vehicles. They don't have equity because it takes so much money. When you buy a new car, everybody knows it's a $10,000 plus hit the minute you drive off the lot. You start getting to a $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 vehicle, it's a $15,000, $20,000 hit on a trade wholesale. And then when you're in that price range, how many guys show up to buy a $70,000 Ford F-150 Power Boost from an individual? They're going to go to the dealership. So you thin out who can afford to buy your vehicles. Yeah, so for me, has it been worrisome most of my life? But also built strengths for me to start my own company and for me to go out and do things that were worrisome. You have no idea until you start your own company. And don't get me wrong, anybody that has a job, joined the military, it's all the same thing. I get that. I'm not here trying to make it sound like, oh, I'm the only guy that, has overcome worry. That's not the point. I'm not here to embellish that I'm so special and you're not. That's not my channel. If I'm conveying that to anybody, then you're not listening to the message because that's not who I am. I'm not here to say I'm bigger and better than you. I'm not. I'm smaller than you. Majority of people watching my channel probably have their act together better than I do in their finances. I just show it all off on all my crazy, stupid addictions to buying things. So, my channel's not about me trying to say, oh, I'm bigger and better than you because I got a special car. I can't stand those people. I hate those people. And we know those type of people. They're rich ass people. And the rich ass people do carry that mentality too. Is, oh, I'm special because I have money. And I can just buy your little ass up. I have to do nothing for you. I mean, it's all about. So back to the worry. Kind of moving on from that, what do I do? I don't know. This day could turn into a very interesting day as the day progresses. And I even have something else going on in the meantime that I finagled that you don't know, that you may see later. Oh my gosh, just doesn't. Which was finagled before I came to closure. I'm not buying a Jeep Grand Wagoneer, so I finagled something else. Jesus Christ, should you be worried about me? You shouldn't. Yeah, I'm not special, right? So I think to myself, boy, can anybody attest that since I'm even trying to think of the years, 2020, can anybody attest to 3 years ago that the worry magnified itself like never seen in modern times? I mean, it did. I mean, back in the 9/11, 2001, when the Twin Towers got taken down, that was a very worrisome time, very challenging time. That was tough years. And then the DC sniper, and then the anthrax. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. People were going to the hospital because this is no lie. People forget this stuff. Back in 2002 and 3, 2001 September was the Twin Towers, and then came in the anthrax scare, and then came in the DC sniper guy. And so in this area here, the nerves, even including me, the nerves were ratchet sky high. Because I live out in the field. I work out in the field. And I used to own a public telephone company years ago, and I had hundreds of public telephones in this DC metro area. And to think about somebody putting anthrax on a handset on a payphone, you're dead. And could somebody do that? It could. And then the DC sniper, you have no idea. I had public telephones at gas stations right across the street from where people were shot and killed. And so for me, I used to climb telephone poles and pull telephone line. I used to crawl through ceilings. I used to crawl on top of buildings. I did all that stuff. And so I'm way up there in the height. You're up on the side of a telephone pole trying to diagnose the telephone line for the public telephone. You're a sitting duck. And that's talk about nerve-wracking, where I'm out servicing my public telephones, and I'm focused on that, my back turned to, whoever's out there in the car shooting people. Yeah, and it happened directly across the street from 2 of my locations over that duration of that fiasco of these whack jobs taking people out. And so that was a very worrisome time. But now I think 2020, holy crow. Talk about, going back to 2002 and 3, people were checking themselves in to the hospital. Their nerves were rattled beyond rattled because people were living in fear of getting anthrax. People were living in fear of being shot by the unknown sniper. So, wow. So now go to 2020, and we all know that when the pandemic came in, that was a very worrisome time. For my business, wow, we didn't know what we had on our hands. We didn't literally and physically, we didn't know what was around us, and we were being told that you're going to probably die if you get this stuff. So, very, very worrisome. So if you kind of go from 2020, to today's presence, it just seems like more than ever, the dominant message in our country is worry. And I'll go back, we'll just use the car industry as the theme to kind of keep it in content here. And for us Ice Age people, our worry right now is that we're going to be run out of town. That we're not happy that the EV agenda is growing by leaps and bounds and the Ice Age is being kicked to the curb. And even to that point, the new Dodge Charger, supposedly Dodge Charger, the new Dodge Charger that's all be electrified, is supposed to come to the market in 2024, and you're going to have different packages and different models. And the high end, it's going to be a 400-volt system on the lower end models, and then the Banshee package is going to be 800-volt system. So that's a very elaborate, powered electric vehicle. And Tim Kanuskis claims it's going to smoke the Ice Age Hellcats in every category. Wow. So, I think to myself, I'm always have to have the latest, greatest, something new. Why wouldn't I just come to closure that I'll be buying an electric Dodge Charger? Yeah, right. I mean, in all sincereness, the odds of me doing that, I probably will. I probably will buy one of those just because that's just who I am. I like to drive the latest, greatest stuff. And for anybody here who thinks that the electric cars aren't just going to start multiplying by the masses, it's going to happen, whether you want to accept it or not. That's where it's going. But here's the point. So us Ice Age people are worried about the impact of our love for the Ice Age and longevity. But on the other end, the green agenda is worried about the Ice Age impact on the Mother Nature Earth. And that's all we hear about, is that the Ice Age is worrisome for the good being of Mother Earth. And so that's the theme. The theme of the green agenda is we have to get rid of the fossil fuels. You should be worried because they're doing harm to Mother Nature Earth. And so the message, the underlying message is worry. You should be worried that if you don't follow in our footsteps, that you're supporting, undue harm to Mother Earth. And so that's that, and that momentum is gaining in some ways, but in so many aspects, a lot of people are starting to kind of come out. This latest emissions tailpipe new bill they've put out there to see if they can get it passed. A lot of people are pushing back and going, it's just too radical. It's just too radical. Even automotive manufacturers like, this is just going way too fast. And I've talked about it numerous times. What's the worry? What is so worrisome that by 2035, if every car manufacturer doesn't make a zero emission car, that the world's going to come to an end? Where are the statistics? And you hear 2040, 2050 on the zero emissions compliance, the carbon footprint, the net zero, all this language, and all, converting to solar, wind, backup battery power. haven't heard the water generation. Excuse me for the cough. Drinking my coffee. I know there's no lie. If I didn't drink this coffee, it is definitely. So when I drink coffee day in, day out, my GERD definitely does start to get more irritated. And so but I want to drink my coffee. So, oh well. Is that worrisome? Right? Take care of yourself, right? But I haven't been taking pills. I just don't take the vitamin. I'm telling you what, man, my body is not sore like it used to be. Just wow. I feel like I'm younger, a lot younger. I won't go too deep on that thought. But anyways, so for the worry aspect, it seems like the constant message is to be worried. And that's the underlying goal, I guess, that gets people movement on. There's so many aspects of you can worry. Everybody worries. And what's the old saying? 90% of the stuff you worry about never happens anyways. I used to always tell people, why don't you worry about winning the lotto? Why don't you worry about winning the lotto? Then how all your friends are going to now hate your guts, and the family are going to hate your guts because you're going to be rewarded for all this money, and then if you don't give it to them, then you're a piece of baloney. And so why don't you worry about that? But people worry more about going broke and worry about their health, and the list goes on and on and on. So I'm like, why don't you reverse your thought process, how you think about things, and worry for the better? Why can't we be worrying for the better instead of for the worst? And I talk about all the time, these YouTube channel guys, they're out there left and right, and their theme is about worry. You should be worried that your used car now is worth less money. You should be worried that the car dealerships are going broke because they can't sell cars. You should be worried if you own an RV. You should be worried if you have money in the bank. Is that having a huge impact? How many people are worried about if you have serious assets and monies worth of millions of dollars right now. I mean, how worried are you about the safety of that money, whether it's in a bank or in the market right now? I mean, are you worried about that? I mean, rightfully so, witnessing what we're seeing. And so for the car industry, the people here the last 3 years, really more like the last 2 years, the worry has been you can't get a new car. When you go to the car dealership, they'll tell you that, oh, well, it's going to take probably 3 to 6 months to get it. And then if you get it, you probably won't get these features. And then the price may be higher, so that's worrisome. And then I've been in so many forums where people order cars and they take forever to come in. And then when they come in, the dealership decides to put ADM on it, and so that's worrisome and blah, blah, blah. I mean, so in the car industry, it's been very worrisome because so many people have been leery to buy new cars or used cars because they're so expensive. And you think to yourself, yeah, am I going to get caught my pants down? I mean, if you're going to keep the car forever, who cares? But if you're a person like me that's going to keep it for a year, 2 years, or whatever it may be, and you want to get rid of it, then yeah, it's worrisome because the value of that car most likely won't sustain itself if the infrastructure of the manufacturing kind of comes back to be. And so then but it gets deep because the green agenda is worried that this electric vehicle movement won't move quick enough. So what does this sitting administration do? They passed the Inflation Reduction Act bill to give it a kickstart to get the manufacturing side, because of all the tax dollars being given to these subsidized all these manufacturers, to go faster. So you have to say to yourself, it's obvious that the green agenda and the city administration and powers to be are very worried that if they don't put things in place, it's not going to happen as fast as they want. So they're very worried about this. So they're enticing, they're this old, the old bait trick. They're giving the money out to these companies to get them to start changing over their ways of manufacturing at the taxpayer's expense. And it's incredible how you don't really hear anybody out there that's a taxpayer that's worried that their tax monies are being used to enrich the green agenda like never seen. But the taxpayers in the end won't really be rewarded financially for the taxpayers' monies spent. Just like Elon Musk. Elon Musk, he was given $1 billion to build the affordable people's car. Did that happen? No. That guy enriched himself to the gluteus maximus, right? I mean, Elon Musk became richer than rich with Tesla. Am I right or wrong? And the guy even built his own pro forma that he sat on a board with, and they all agreed to the same pro forma for him to enrich himself by the billions of dollars on his goals of beating, sales records and everything else. And so, here's the taxpayers that gave, and then they always say, yeah, but he paid it back. Yeah, but he couldn't have gotten it going without the taxpayers, right? And so instead, the whole conversation was that he was supposed to bring the affordable car to the market. Instead, he created a niche, cliche, vehicle for the elitists of the country to enjoy, and for all the hobnob investors to congregate among themselves, and to create an incredibly wealthy company that had really no value per se. I mean, just wow. Should that be worrisome, right? Should we be worried about that? I mean, wow. So here's Elon Musk. This is interesting. Elon Musk is now advertising on Twitter, and December I joined Twitter, and I've done very little interaction on there. So now Elon Musk is saying, hey, all you YouTubers and whoever else is doing the YouTube video style content that want to get monetized, paid for your efforts through advertising to your channel. Hey, come on over to Twitter and you can bring your content and you can put it on Twitter and you can get monetized for this. And I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. So last night, it was like 2 a.m. I mean, I don't sleep. I mean, I'll just say straight up. If I get in bed at 11 o'clock at night and I fall asleep at 11:30, I'm back up at 2 o'clock. And then I'll fall back asleep at 4 o'clock, and then I'll wake back up at like 5 o'clock. I mean, I never ever fall asleep at 11 o'clock and then wake up at 6 o'clock. That never ever happens. And it's actually not good because they talk about deep sleepers actually progress healthier and better than the non-deep sleepers. There's a lot of information on that if you want to look that up. But yeah, what are you going to do about that, right? So anyways, so Elon Musk, I'm reading this last night, he's like, yeah, you can become part of the Twitter, YouTube type of environment. And for the first year, we're not going to charge, we're going to let you have basically all the advertising revenues that come through the content through Twitter. They're going to have to charge you some, fees, but for the most part, you're going to get all the advertising money to start interacting to build your Twitter, your X platform. So yeah, that sounds very intriguing, right? So I looked into that, and then I had to dig into, really a lot of in-depth criteria of what you have to do and everything else. Yeah, okay. So for YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. You need 4,000 public viewing hours in one continuous year before you are even considered to be qualified for advertising monies. And let me tell you what, there's no money. There's no money in this business. I mean, if you look at my channel, I have over 1,000 subscribers, over 1,000 videos. My channel is now growing a lot, really, because I think the shorts videos. But I'm going to tell you straight up, am I making any money? If I told you I was making $3 a day, would you believe me? Okay, that's where it's at. 3 years later of me and my channel, and I might hear griping or complaining. The reason I'm bringing this up is Twitter. It may be $4 a day, so I'm making $4 a day, which I'll take it. I mean, for the record, I can go buy. Where can I go buy $4? Right? Yeah, a lotto ticket. That's what I'll do. I'll start donating $4 a day to some lotto tickets. Yeah, there you go. And then I'll share the wealth with all my YouTuber friends. How about that idea? Yeah, big fat liar. Yeah. So, anyways, the criteria for Twitter is, keep in mind, I've been doing this now for over 3 years, and I just now hit over 4,000 subscribers, and it took a long time to hit 1,000. So the Twitter way is 10,000 followers. So before you even qualify in Twitter to get any monies from you sharing your videos and your media content or your blogging, whatever you're doing, you have to have 10,000 followers. I don't have one follower on Twitter at this moment because I don't get exposed in there. It's just too much of a debate. It's just too much debate. It's just too much. It's a debate session. That's all it is. It's an open debate session all day long. Everybody debating everybody, and it gets buried with everything. But Alon loves that stuff because he loves the comments. So anybody in there is going to go to Twitter and think you're going to make your little fortune because you're going to get 100%, not 100%, probably 70% of the advertising monies. But oh, by the way, you need 10,000 bots. Yeah, you need 10,000 bots to get going. If you get the bots going, I mean, at one time, Twitter had a lot of bots, so maybe you can fool Elon and get all the bots, and there you go. Yeah, right. Yeah, worrisome. So anyways, so for us, it seems to me more than ever, we are in worrisome times. I mean, it goes into so many aspects of where we are in our whole life right now. Because we just came through an incredibly challenging pandemic, which was extremely worrisome for so many of us. It's ongoing. And we came through what so many didn't know, the future of their job or their business. Very worrisome times. And now what's come upon us is inflation, which has created worrisome times for people financially to be able to manage their money and afford things more than ever. And so it just seems like more than ever in our country, we're at a very worried state of so many things around us. I mean, defund the police. People felt that if you didn't look like me, you would be possibly injured and hurt because of the police actions. So some people were worried about that they thought that making a police force lesser was a better view and idea. But now so many people are very worried of going into these inner cities and riding subways, and people don't feel as safe. And we're seeing crime, so it's very worrisome. So many people are concerned about the well-being of others that are coming into our country that we don't know. We know a lot of people want to come here because of the bad conditions that they live in, but then it's worrisome of finding out Chinese nationals show up and the gangs are coming in. So it's worrisome for the border. It isn't like it's new, but I mean, it just seems to be ratcheted up that the media so-called claims. And the thing that's worrisome more than ever is so many people are seeing that the media, you just don't know what you can really take to heart. So it's very worrisome. Elon Musk showed that the other day with the BBC guy on calling him out on making these worrisome comments that he couldn't support to show what actually had really happened. And then you think about Ukraine. So many people are worried about the well-being of Ukraine. Billions of dollars have been given to them. And the list goes on and on and on. I just think it's so incredible how people worry. But I mean, really, in the end, if Russia just would have shown up in Ukraine, I mean, I don't know. Was Russia going to be like Venezuela? And was Putin going to just then be a total dictator in Ukraine and overtake that whole, country and just torture people and take everything? I have no idea. I'm just asking out loud. And then we had the worrisome of the oil markets when the Ukraine war started that created the very expensive oil, that in the end, the worrisome was a total joke because it never played out the way they did. Even to the most recent times this year that Russia was supposed to be taken off the world markets, like in February, which was going to make the markets be tighter on oil. And that worrisome never played out. I mean, it's just incredible on how it's like the worrisome, people throw money at all the worry. I mean, it's always throw money at the worry, but the worry never actually plays out as radical as it does many times. Just like the green agenda, I think that's why so many people are irritated and frustrated, is they don't believe that this tailpipe emissions thing is going to be the difference in the end of really Mother Nature Earth. Really, is it really going to be that radically different? I don't know. I'm not here to promote that I'm the scientist or anything, but I'm just saying so many, I think, feel like it's over worried, that it's too much worrying of wanting to have this so-called, perfect world. And then the never-ending conversations of the worry of guns in our country. I mean, it's infinite of where we are today. It seems like that the worry factor is through the roof. Are you worried about your stock portfolio? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And then they're showing that in our country, the lifespan of people have actually decreased some. What's that all about, right? What does that come down to? And then there's the worry of the military doesn't have the youth that are in the proper physical condition to be able to actually even be in the military. There's a whole nother worry. And then there's people that are worried that they transition to be somebody else, that people don't like who they are, and they worry about that, and then it goes all south. We've seen that. And there's people that, try to push upon others, worry that they then, manipulate things. I mean, it's just incredible on how worry is just the number one really underlying message of where our country is today more than ever. I mean, it's the talk that Fed's going to raise another quarter point interest in May, and there's many market analysts that are very worried that this country is going to be in a big-time recession. The office buildings, they're all in worry status because people aren't going back to work. One gentleman yesterday is saying all these office buildings need to be demolished and taken down and just rebuilt into apartments and condos and homes and other things, public park space and whatever else you can put in place of these big commercial buildings that the people are not going to go back. People that are remotely working are worried about their future of their remote working. to the point that they're adamant that they don't want to go back to the way it used to be. So that's very worrisome. So yeah, I mean, I could talk all morning long about the worry, the worry, the worry. But it seems like 90% of the stuff you worry about never comes to be. So why don't we worry about the good? Where is the leader that can help us worry about the good? And how we're going to be so much better than so many others in this world. We can rise above all these challenges. Isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that the fun, the adventure? I mean, that's me. It's the adventure. It's always about the adventure. That's the fun part. All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for watching my channel. And yeah, this morning I've got a lot going on. I've got to run a company. Got a car decision to come down to. It's just material things. It's just material things. It really is. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, that's why I've always tried to be able to let go of my material things. Because at the end of the day, I saw my daughter last night. It's like, when do we really have fun? We have so much fun. We're just hanging out with each other, doing things, riding the motorcycles, going out in the boat, just driving down the road. But is it really, really about that car sitting there that makes your day? It's like it's more of our adventures where we go and do things. And we hang out with my father, popcorn, hang out with family, working. There's so many more things. Go to church, lifting weights. She's taking care of the garden right now. She loves gardening. She's cutting the grass. She's learning how to help me run my business. I mean, that's the fun in life. These material things, if you think that's really what makes you happy at the end of the day, then sadly, it's not. We're the number one, if you think about it, who have all the problems in life? It's the wealthy. Yeah, they have all the money, but they're all the drug addicts and sex addicts and money monger addicts, and the list goes on. Oh, speaking of that, thank goodness, Dan Snyder, I think, sold the Washington Redskins, which is called the Washington Commanders. I think yesterday the Washington Commanders are going to be a change of ownership. And get this. I know it's a long video, a lot of talking, but here's my guess. Lamar Jackson will be the quarterback for the Washington Commanders. That's my bet. The new guys are buying up the Commanders. Are going to want to just get the whole new fresh start at that organization. And I bet you they throw Lamar Jackson stupid money to come to Washington Commanders. And hey, if I'm right about that, do I get a reward? Yeah, right. Hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Stay tuned. God bless. Stay safe.